There has been hundreds, if not thousands, of glitches in Fortnite over the 6 years the game has been out, with nearly 10 of them fully breaking the game for players from falling to your death to be thrown out of the map. Here's the entire history of glitches in Fortnite. To start this off though, we need to head way back to Chapter 1, where the first ever game-breaking glitch was discovered. This involved players using a cone on top of a launch pad just as they jump. If the player was successful, this would happen. And the worst part is, Epic didn't even fix this until 2 seasons later. Now, the next glitch might be the most famous one of them all. Rocket riding was introduced in the update 1.6 and allowed players to fly on a rocket fired by another player. It was super fun and loved by everyone that Epic decided to leave it in as a feature for the rocket launchers, and you can still do this today. However, in Chapter 1, you could actually get banned for going on these swings. Back in the OG days, if you jumped on these swings here, they would actually launch you in the air, but it got even worse for players. See, if you did it too much, you would be permanently banned from the game. As Season 2 of Fortnite came around, the glitches got even weirder. This next glitch allowed your whole body to be invisible, allowing just your head to float. This didn't result in any players getting banned like the previous glitch, but it was nearly impossible to fight players abusing this. However, the next glitch stopped players from fighting at all. Back when the battle bus looked like this, if you load it into a game, there was a bug that would stop nearly all the players from jumping from the battle bus. Talking of jumping though, this next glitch actually threw players into the sky. Back in Season 3, if you placed a ramp up here in this location, then you would get launched into the sky and be eliminated by falling to your death.
And I wasn't even paying attention. Oh no. I actually did it.
Duplication glitches have been very common in Fortnite, but during Season 3, the first duplication glitch happened. Players could duplicate a portal fortress by simply throwing the item on the ground while also trying to pick up another item. This would then duplicate the portal fortress item, giving players a near unlimited supply of them. Although it's common for Fortnite to have big collaborations, it was fairly new when Fortnite teamed up with Marvel to add Thanos and the Infinity Glove in the game. That glove was so powerful, it allowed whoever to wear it to still have the ability to build as Thanos, allowing players to get fully boxed by Thanos. However, that wasn't the only new item that broke the game. When Fortnite added its first moving vehicle, the shopping cart, and of course this had some insane glitches. They could launch you in the air way above the island. Now, this next glitch allowed players to walk on water back in Season 5. See, if you shot a guided missile launcher when you jumped on a launch pad, it would give you the item as a glider, but it also allowed you to walk on water. However, if you remember the ATKs, then you will know this glitch for sure, as these vehicles allowed players to glitch under Loot Lake, making it impossible to see them. Moving on to Season 6 though, a brand new item called a Shadow Stone was added. If you use these correctly, you can actually become a full-on god and glitch yourself, taking no damage at all. Epic Games removed this insanely fast, and they revolted nearly a day after getting added into the game files. But it didn't stop there. During this season, Tfue found a glitch that allowed you to break a whole building in a matter of seconds. On to the final glitch of Chapter 1, and this might be the most controversial item ever added into Fortnite. Love them or hate them, the mechs were incredible, and they had some insane glitches with them. There was glitches that allowed you to walk on water, be invisible, and double your damage. But my favorite glitch was the ability to move backwards in the map insanely fast. In Chapter 2 though, it got even more and more insane. In the first season, Epic added in boats, and just like every other vehicle before it, they were completely broken.
Welcome to Fortnite Chapter 2. The meme chapter.
Talking of new items though, the zipline was added in, and this allowed players to be able to destroy anything in their path. This might be one of the worst glitches in the game. In Season 3 though, Epic gave us one of the most scariest glitches in game, thanks to a battle pass skin known as Kit, which had a built-in emote. This built-in emote could glitch to work on any skin, resulting in some really scary combinations. Season 4 brought the first Marvel-themed season, allowing Fortnite to put items in the game that gave players superpowers, which of course broke the game. Storm Tornado's power was one of the best glitches in this season, allowing players to be fully stuck in a state like this for the entire match. If you remember sand tunneling in Season 5 Chapter 2, you'll remember they got removed insanely fast. The reason behind this was because you could do a glitch that made you invisible with a harpoon gun, allowing players to get loot and eliminate players without them knowing where they were. Moving on to Season 6 though, if you use a slurp mushroom just like this when you enter the car, it would make that slurp mushroom massive. And the best part is that you could eat this entire thing in the car. I mean, just look at it. Moving on to Chapter 3 though, someone found one one of the funniest glitches in this video. If you remember this statue in chapter 3, you could go up to the statue, throw a tire, and it'll topple over for everyone in the game. Now, let's talk about fishing, because in chapter 3, loot sharks became available, and if you got into a car and tried to loot a shark at the same time, well, this would happen. It would launch you across the map and take you out of the entire game. Moving on to season 3 though, if you use the grapple glove and the launch pad at the same time, well, this would happen. It would launch you into the sky, and if you took full damage, you would be eliminated. Talking of being launched though, crash pads were first introduced in chapter 3 season 3, and players found out if you stacked them all together and then drove a car into them, you would be launched miles across the island. The goo gun was added into chapter 3 season 3, and players soon found out if you dropped an item from your inventory below you and stood on top of that item, well, when you got goo gunned, you would take 0 damage at all. This might be one of the biggest glitches of chapter 3 though, because during chapter 3, hot air balloons were finally added into the island. This allowed players to rotate to different POIs flying in the air. But one of the biggest bugs of this chapter happened. See, if you were able to get into a hot air balloon, there was a chance that you wouldn't be launched at all and you'd fall to your death. You might have forgotten about this item, but the dial-in device came in chapter 3 season 4. This allowed players to call in anything they really wanted, including supply drops. Well, one player found out if he was able to call in a supply drop quick enough and then drop the dial-in device, be able to duplicate supply drops, resulting in some crazy things like this. However, with the arrival of chapter 4, the glitches start to get super easy for every player to do. And it felt like there was a glitch in nearly every single item, with the most common glitch being the shockwave hammer that allowed you to have infinite movement just by bouncing on a source of water. If you think the movement was bad though, how about the ability to get into the new vault without a keycard? Players learned that if you had the crew pack, they could glitch into the vault by pushing a bike at this wall, opening the Fortnite crew pack, allowing them under the map like this and to get into the vault. One of the coolest items added into chapter 4 though was the Cybertron cannon. This was just like rocket riding in chapter 1, however, players could launch themselves even further. If you're missing Fortnite OG like I am, well, let's go back to that season for a second with Fortnite OG. This was a 4-week period where every player could play Fortnite OG, and these are the 3 main bugs in this season. Players learned how to go under the map at tilted towers by placing a turret inside this wall, allowing them to become invisible under the map. If you thought this was bad though, players learned that if you jumped on top of a hay bale, then you would be launched into space for the entire game. And if you're missing the hoverboards because of how fun they were, well, you might remember this glitch where if you drove the hoverboard down this ramp, it would allow you to drive on water. Top of a hay bale, chapter 5 is happening right now, and my god, there is a glitch nearly every single day. In chapter 5, players learned that you could knock another player in a vault with a car, allowing that player to get the loot inside the vault instantly. Not only that, but when players put a gas can on top of a whiplash, then this would happen. Car, and every player inside of that car would be launched into outer space. Talking of gas cans though, if a player puts a gas can in the middle of the road, sets fire to it, and then uses the hoverboards to drive through it, they would be set on fire and burn everything around them. However, talking of fire though, players didn't really want to get too close to the sun with the new Icarus wings. These were brought in season 2 and allowed players to fly around the map. However, players found out when you dropped into a dumpster, you could be launched into space if you open the wings at the right time. You wouldn't take any damage because of the wings. However, this was quickly patched, but players soon found out if you use the wings on windmills, then you could still get launched across the map. In season 3 though, cars became a massive thing, and a glitch where you could actually become a god inside of them happened. All you'd have to do is jump into a car, let it glitch, and then destroy the car, and you would be in god mode for the entire match. In season 3, players found out that you could drive the car at an invisible barrier and then drive into the sky. So that's every glitch so far in the history of Fortnite. Let me know down in the comments which one you thought was the most broken glitch in Fortnite. And while you're down there, let me know what entire history you would like to see next. Remember to hit the like and the subscribe button, as it helps out the channel massively, and I'll see you on the next one.